Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Southside Beat here on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Chris Halicke, Matt Williamson, both here to talk Steelers football, whether you like it or not, whether you like this football team right now or not. We are here to talk about them. Matt, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. A weird week with the Patriot matchups, to be honest with you, because usually we get together on Friday and all these Fridays going forward, and I bet there'll be 5, 6, 7 individual matchups that I'm really looking forward to. You know, DK Metcalf versus Sauce, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm finding fewer of them in this game than most weeks. And where the Steelers sit right now, I think it might be, hey, it's more about me than you. You know, I mean, it's not like we have to stay away from this guy or, boy, you got to get Myles Garrett blocked. It's, hey, get your zone running game going. That kind of thing. You know, quit getting blown off the ball on run game, you know.
Right, exactly. Before we get into the Patriots, we do need to take a quick peek back, if we dare, at the 31-17 loss to the Seahawks. That's kind of the format of the show here in the middle of the season. We'll spend the first several minutes dissecting, or I won't say dissecting, but at least looking back at what went right, what went wrong in a win or a loss. This was obviously a loss for the Steelers. It was not a pretty game at all. Even if they would have lost that game by a single point, there were still so many red flags that stood out from that game. And what's probably most alarming, what was most alarming to you from that loss that could be possibly a trend moving forward that they need to nip it in the bud really, really quickly?
I don't know. I mean, what was most alarming to me in that loss, which if it's a trend, we're in for a brutal season, is that when I did my podcast Sunday evening, you know, as soon as the 4:00 games had ended, I had some time to stew on it, but I had not seen the game twice. So all I did was watch it once. That really my tone for that podcast was, I'm really struggling to see what they did well. Yeah, I mean, I thought Warren was good. I think Rodgers did some good things. Not every individual player was a 1 out of 10, but I didn't see many positives at all from the game. Now, I don't think that's how the whole season's going to go. I don't think every Sunday night I'm going to be like, well, they lost at both lines of scrimmage, couldn't run the ball, couldn't stop the run, you know, over and over and over. So, I mean, I think but that was most alarming to me. Like, what did you do well?
Yeah, that was we've kind of hit on that. We just hit on that in the double shot show that just wrapped up about a half hour ago. Like for this upcoming week, it's just almost win or lose. Just play a good football game. You know,
Yeah.
Play a competitive football
better.
game. Feel like that you were the better team, no matter what. And usually, when you are the better team, you win the game. But sometimes you get a unlucky bounce that goes one way, and
sure,
it's enough to be to ride that line between winning and losing. But at least you played a really good game. And no, you don't want to get moral victories, but at this point, this team needs to have a good performance. Like they need to, you know, show that this running game is actually improving, to show that you can marry the run game with the play action, with the quick game, with the RPO game, whatever it is, that you're able to be an efficient offense. On the defensive side, you need to make sure that these missed tackles that we're seeing are a product of it being September ball right now, as Mike Tomlin would describe it, or something like that, that this is not going to be something that we're going to be used to seeing throughout the entire season, in which this is just the worst tackling team in the league, which it should not be.
Of course.
With all the talent that they have on that side of the ball, they shouldn't be doing that. All the communication issues that are continuing to progress, that we see a step up in that regard. We don't see blown coverages. We don't see guys misaligned before the snap. These are all very, very fixable things, but it's the reason why they struggled against the Jets and why they lost to the Seahawks, especially on when you talk about the defense's performance, which to me is way more alarming than anything I've seen on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the offense I can semi-understand, sort of even predict or not be blown away that it went like that for 2 games, more or less. But I think the defense is loaded. I've said all offseason, I think it's the best defensive line in the league. I think it's got a chance to be one of the top defenses in the league, and maybe I've got to come off that a little bit. I mean, I don't know that they're going to finish 1 in EPA in every category possible. That's still in the cards, but it can't. It blows me away that they're at the bottom of basically all categories, other than basically pass rush. And I know the sacks haven't been great, but the pass rush, I think, has not been the problem.
No, I don't think the pass rush has been the problem, because when you look at when you actually break down some of the film that's been going on, the reason why the pass rush isn't producing sacks is because of the coverage behind it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll give 2 really, really quick examples. The first third down, the Seahawks converted. TJ Watt comes around on a stunt completely unblocked, and he ends up hitting Darnold right after he gets rid of the ball. But Darnold's able to get rid of the ball so quickly because Smith and Jigba beats Ramsey to the inside on just a basic route, just a basic dig, and there's no help on the middle. It's literally asking Ramsey to line up and shut him down. Now, I'm not saying that Ramsey shouldn't be trusted in that or anything like that, but there's almost being too confident in your players.
Exactly.
Because Ramsey will have times that he gets beat.
Of course. You can't ask any of these guys to just play off coverage, let a wide receiver get a full head of steam, and then you turn flat-footed and have to run with Garrett Wilson, or it's just asking too much. No matter who if it's Revis or Dion or Rod Woodson, so a couple things again, and that's correctable, but that's on the coaching staff to correct it. And yes. I think that there's, in a good way, I've been saying all week that if there was a stat for being super close to having a sack and not getting there, they might lead the league.
Oh,
yeah, because the pressures are there, and the instance you mentioned is dead on, like a step away, or couldn't quite get Fields to the ground, or they're close to having 6 more sacks. I mean close, not like, damn close. and again, I just want the coverage to force the quarterback to blur his vision for a millisecond longer. Just don't always have a safety and single high, or don't always have an easy answer for them to beat the pass rush. And you're right, that's on the secondary. And last thing I'll say is, all offseason I said, we act like it's the Steelers' God-given right to lead the league in sacks. And I believe it is. That sounds stupid, but when you have Watt and all these dudes, and I think they believe it is, and by their moves in the secondary, I thought they would set themselves up to lead the league in sacks. And they kind of have. They've been blitzing like crazy, but you got to play more press or as opposed to off, or give me a safety rotation once in a while. It's hard enough to beat a right tackle without, as it is on its own. You know what I mean? Well, I know you know what I mean. I'm not sure I'm explaining it well enough.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because the other example I was going to give, it was another time, Queen, and he ended up, from a source that I spoke with on the South Side this week. Queen got fined for this, but he hit Darnold on the touchdown pass to Torrey Horton, and the reason why that play even happens is because the Steelers blew coverage. They called an old school. I say old school because it comes, according to Ryan Clark on social media, it comes from the Dick LeBeau defense, pretty much, of the zombie look, in which if there are 2 high crossers going across and you're in cover 3, the safety, the single high safety calls, makes that check, and he makes sure, hey, I will pick up the low crosser. When the high crosser comes across, you will then hand off this low crosser to me, and then you stay back and handle that high crosser. Well, the
free safety is getting high load to death, and it's going to continue, right?
Right. And so Thornhill, that communication between Thornhill and Slay didn't happen. And so both Thornhill and Slay both chased after the low crosser, while the high crosser is running past them both, and Jalen Ramsey's just has no chance to catch him. And then sites like PFF will see that and be like, oh yeah, because Jalen Ramsey was closest. He was the one who was responsible. No, that's not Jalen Ramsey at all.
Or the guys on TV that are listening now are like, oh, Ramsey's bust. He can't run anymore. He's shot.
No.
He's Patrick Peterson. I mean, no. All right. You're asking too much of them.
Yeah. And but that's just a communication breakdown. It leads to a blown coverage. And the thing is that if that is covered up correctly, all Patrick Queen needed was another quarter of a second and he gets to Sam Darnold.
And it's a negative play for the offense as opposed to a touchdown.
It might have even been a sack fumble.
Right. I mean,
because
or the drive at a minimum or whatever, right. It's that close. Again, I think they lead the league in almost sacks.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to throw out there, and I've been harping on it this week, but this is a different audience. I mean, 5 defensive backs played snaps in that game. They didn't have to go real deep in, and that doesn't even include Peppers, who got here 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But all 5 of those guys weren't Steelers a year ago.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't make it okay, but I hope that makes our listeners sleep a little easier at night. They played one game together. Porter was out. Elliott was out. Those are the guys that were actually here last year. It's got to make it tough,
People are going to hear that and just say, you're just making excuses.
I know. And if it's week 10, I'm making an excuse. It's not okay going forward, but it's a fact.
I agree with that. And the one thing that I will say in that regard, from speaking with Juan Thornhill to give some sort of solace to fans on this, is that, Juan Thornhill talked about the 2019 Chiefs, his rookie year with Kansas City. And he was saying early on in the season, we were a mess. We were all over the place. Our communication wasn't good. It was a train wreck. And then we got things figured out. And in the second half of the season, we were the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because we had everything figured out. And they were. I mean, that wasn't revisionist history. They were phenomenal. And they ended up winning the Super Bowl. Now, of course, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Travis Kelce. It's really easy to win the Super Bowl when you have those guys, but you also need a defense as well. And even when the Chiefs have had their dominance, they've also had a really, really, really good defense the years that they've won.
Great defense.
Yeah. So it's not like it's just Mahomes. Their defense has played a role in that too. So, yes, there can be light at the end of the tunnel.
That should get cleaned up.
Yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Whether they get there or not, that remains to be seen. So,
there's some defensive calls I don't love, but you would hope the communication should be better.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's turn the page to the Patriots. But before we do, we're going to take a really quick break, and then we'll dive fully into to New England, their challenges, how the Steelers can do anything against this team. It's a place that this franchise has not played well at all. And I'm not talking about just when Tom Brady has been the quarterback.
Right.
So
nobody played well there when it was Brady and Moss and Gronk and Belichick. And
nobody, but I'm even talking about before then. It's just Foxborough's not been an easy place for this franchise to win football games. So we'll be right back right after a quick break, and then we'll get into that.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Welcome back to the Southside Beat. Football season is finally here, and it is in full swing now. So it's time to check out the latest odds, features, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you think the Steelers are going to win, if they're going to cover the 1.5 spread that they have over the Patriots, then you better lock in your bets today before it changes. Whatever your game, the FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, features, and specials so you can join in on all the action. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup against the Patriots. 1 p.m. or 1:02 p.m. officially the kickoff time. Gillette Stadium, Foxborough. Not a great place to play. Again, I'm talking before Tom Brady. I remember the I think it was either wild card or divisional. I don't remember what it was, but there was a 28-3 loss in the playoffs up there in a insanely foggy game in the mid. It was the season after the Steelers lost to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. It's just not been a place that this franchise has typically had a lot of success. So we'll see. But the Patriots present a good number of challenges, and I think them having a new head coach to kind of set a more professional culture is going to help elevate this team's floor a little bit.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good stories about the coach in between Vrabel and Belichick. And Belichick left this roster in a really tough spot, too. I mean, Bill, the coach, was far better than Bill, the GM, especially the last 5 years or so that he was in New England. Now, if I'm a Patriots fan, though, I'm now encouraged. You know, you live through some tough times there, well, and no one's crying for them because they've had it pretty good for a while.
They 6 Super Bowls since 01. They'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, 2 down years. I mean, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But I've been saying all week, though, just from a big picture New England standpoint, I think they have a quarterback. And frankly, I think he's going to be a great player. I think they have a coach. And these have all been added in this order. And now they have a pass rush. All things that they went outside the organization to get. Now, I don't think many other boxes in their team build, rebuild have been checked yet. But if I had to check 3 things, I would probably take quarterback, head coach, and pass rush.
Those are when you
Good
talk
place to
about,
start.
yeah, exactly. When you talk about bare minimums for what franchises need to compete, quarterback is the first thing. You need a quarterback. A great head coach is usually a part of that. There are not a lot of head coaches that have won Super Bowls that have not deserved it, contrary to a lot of Steelers fans' beliefs that Mike Tomlin only won a Super Bowl because he had Bill Cowher's players. That's a conversation and a debate for another day. But those are 2 things. And in today's NFL, being able to rush the passer, to make the opposing quarterback uncomfortable and make him make mistakes. We've seen what that looks like even as recently as the Super Bowl last season, when the Eagles just completely manhandled the Chiefs up front and made Patrick Mahomes look human. And one of the rare times that Patrick Mahomes has not looked like the greatest quarterback to ever throw a football. So those are 3 great things. And yes, the Patriots do have all 3. Now, Drake May is still developing.
Right.
He's not a finished product.
Promising.
He's going to make mistakes. He was more of the gunslinger type coming out of North Carolina. That can still be there. He's got a heck of an arm. He's got great arm talent. But once a gunslinger, always a gunslinger to a certain extent, usually. And usually if you can create pressure, you can get in his face, you can make him uncomfortable, you can make him make some bad decisions, or make him try to wear the Superman cape and
see what happens. Right.
Yeah. And so,
and that's why I think you can't just be static in coverage in this game too. Back to, rewinding 18 minutes of how we started this conversation. Don't just sit there and single high, cover 3, blah, blah, blah. He's a rookie. We don't have to get crazy with him. No, get crazy with him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And listen, I understand, like I saw, I don't remember if it was on this show that we're doing it or if it was on the last one. Somebody asked, why are we, because I said, like 3rd down, it's like they were in cover 1 almost every single time. And someone's like, why are you in cover 1 so much? I'm like, that's a good question. Why are they in cover 1 so much on 3rd down? And it was like, whether it was 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 14, it was like cover 1. I'm like, okay, like there are more things that you can call. And like if it's 3rd and long, especially, why are you not calling match quarters? Why are you not calling something that's a little bit more modern that helps keep?
I remember just chatting with you at camp, like, oh, we're going to see a lot more quarters.
I really thought so.
Stuff. Right. And hasn't yet.
No. I have a good feeling. I have a good hunch that it's there. It's in the playbook.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Now,
camp indicated it would be.
Yeah, I don't have that necessarily verified. I have not, like Tara Lawson's not pulled me aside and said, "Hey, here's a copy of our playbook, and you can take a look at it." But
this and this, right?
Yeah, but I do have a feeling that they do have a decent amount of quarter stuff in the playbook. It just hasn't been used yet. And why is that the case? I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for a matchup like this, but.
Or maybe it is we're worried about communication and we have too many new parts, but we have bad communication otherwise. I mean, is the communication get worse?
Yeah.
I mean, so even just aligned with a single high safety, they were the highest percentage in the league last year. And now they have a higher percentage than last year. Like, just give me something different.
Yeah. Justin asked a really good question here because this kind of bleeds into the last show. He's like, if you have no inside or outside help in cover one, isn't it prudent to protect your inside leverage? You have the sideline to squeeze out breakers. I would agree with that. Why the corners are lining up with outside leverage when they are in cover one, and why sometimes they're even lining up so far off in cover one. Like there were some times where they were in cover one and Ramsey's 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. I have no idea why that's the case. So you can talk about pre-snap leverage. You can talk about why is he not in press? Why is he lining off the ball? Those are legitimate questions that we don't have answers to.
Didn't Austin say we had alignment issues as well as communication issues?
He did. Now, I don't know.
Which inevitably falls on him, and I hope we all know that, but
right. But I did ask, actually I was asking about the run game when I asked him about that. I was asking about because it seemed like it was all or nothing. It seemed like it was, you guys were allowing 1 yard gain, 2 yard gain, no gain, or even getting a TFL, or it was 9 yards or 13 yards, or it was a chunk. There was no in between. It was all or nothing. And I'm like, well, what's the disconnect? Why is it so, all or nothing? And he chalked it up to a lot of pre-snap misalignment. Like we're not in position before the ball's even snapped, and you're going to lose when that happens. And I would agree with that.
It's a much bigger deal than maybe some listeners realize. I mean, I'm even talking 6 inches to the right.
It's not much.
It's not much. I mean, it is a
not
fine tooth comb. So along those lines, kind of a funny story. Every Monday evening, I host a post-game show with Mike Pursuta and Rob King on DVE. Yeah. And Rob enters, we talks about the run defense right off the bat. And Rob's like, well, if it wasn't for those 7 or 8 big, long runs, the run defense was really good. I'm like, dude, and then at that point, I had not watched the All-22, but he was actually right. It wasn't like, oh, it's okay. They got gashed 10 times by Walker or whatever. But in this one, compared to the Jets game, down in, down out, the run defense was much better than week 1. Mm-hmm. And then we were joking, but how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Right.
Yeah. That's a good one. Right. No, but Justin brings up a good point. He says being number 1 in no gains or TFLs and number 1 in explosives allowed feels like a misalignment problem. And so I don't think Tara Lawson is just spewing stuff just to spew stuff. I actually think he's probably right on the money about that.
Yeah.
So that stuff, and that's why I'm saying like when you talk about the 3 biggest issues with the defense right now, and it will need to be fixed for this game against the Patriots. Communication that has to stop being a problem.
Yeah.
Like it has to stop being a problem.
My excuse with the D-backs is a real thing, but not anymore. That ship has to be sailed now, right?
And if you have them, it needs to be less than what you had the week before, and then the week after that, it needs to be less than the week you had before. Like it's got to continue to improve so that this stuff does not become a problem.
Can't be saying these things at Thanksgiving, let alone Halloween.
Right. Number 2 would be the misalignment, the pre-snap misalignment stuff. That's got to get cleaned up. Those are 2 very, very fixable issues, and you would think that those get fixed quickly, hopefully maybe even before they fly to Ireland. But I would even say fix them for this game. See market improvement.
To watch for this game because that's on you.
Yep. And then the other thing is missed tackles.
Worst in the league.
Yeah, they've got to get better.
Best in the league to worst in the league.
What's really, really funny about that is that, and I pointed this out on Double Shot, because a lot of people like to hate on the guy for it, especially last season. You know how many missed tackles Patrick Queen has?
No.
0.
Really? Okay.
0. That's according to PFF. But
okay, yeah. So maybe he has 1.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or whatever, right? Yeah, but it's a low number.
Yeah, and it's just funny because it's just funny because people like to hate on him because I don't know why. Anyway,
that's a question for you.
Yeah,
you're down there more than I am. I expect this to be the case, but I would expect Peppers to see the field.
Yes.
I would expect
I would
more
think.
Holcomb.
Yes.
I would.
Tia even mentioned that specifically. Yes.
Okay. I would expect more UK Lee.
Not like anything specific on that, but it would not surprise me, especially if Harmon doesn't play.
Because I think UK Lee is probably their best option at nose for the short term, at least.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
And then question was, well, and maybe we'll get some Harmon.
Yeah, he is officially questionable for the game, so we'll see what happens. He did fully participate in practice on Friday, and I was under the assumption that he would need to have at least one day of being a full participant if he had any chance of playing at all. He did fully participate today, so maybe he does play. But if he does not, yes, I would think you see more of the YA Blacks and the Equale's got like types on the defensive line. And yeah, I do think Equale, especially, he's going against his former team. Not that not that it's like, hey, let's get this defensive tackle that most guys didn't even hear of. Most fans didn't even hear of to face his former team. It's not really much of a storyline, but still, it might be nice for him to be out there. And
I've been mispronouncing his name until this week. I mean, it's not like we're going to change the game plan around for this dude, but I mean, I do think he's been a pleasant surprise.
Yes, he has been one of their better guys up front for sure. Any like real keys to this game? Because like for me, it is. I'm curious to see how they defend Drake May, because
I'm not sure what that answer is.
While I wouldn't call him a true dual threat guy, he will still be able to take chunks out of the defense with his legs.
Oh, he's really good at it. Yeah, he's not Fields, but he's really good at it. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think of like, I'm not saying you have to be Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields to be considered a dual threat guy, but
very good runner.
Yeah, like I would consider Josh Allen to be a dual threat guy. He's still not as electric of a runner as like a Jackson or a Fields, but he's still a legitimate dual threat. Drake May might be like Josh Allen light.
Yeah,
in that regard. So I'm curious to see how they're going to defend him in that way.
I am too. I'm not sure what the answer is. I hope it's not just mush rush, keep him in the pocket, and because he might beat you for that way too. Other things I'm keeping an eye on is they went from the fewest sacks in the league to now the most, and I think their defensive front, as mentioned, is much better against the pass. So. And they also give up a ton of explosives in the passing game, and people are torching them. So even if you have to max protect against that pass rush, I want to see the ball thrown down the field more than short. And that's not even a criticism of Rodgers. And another injury-related thing is if Gonzalez plays, do they treat him like they treated Sauce? Right. And just go somewhere else. I think he's an equal level corner, and he might not get that credit. He's a really, really good player.
No, he's really good. I remember when he was coming out of college, he was in the same class as Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah. Went around where Broderick Jones went. Actually, when the Steelers trade up for Broderick Jones, I thought it might be for Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, it would not have surprised me at all, because I know that they were looking hardcore at corners that year. Obviously, they ended up taking Porter, 32, but. Final prediction for the game. We're getting near the end here. Let's do our predictions, and then one thing to wrap it up.
My former one was 23-20 Steelers, and I've kind of switched it since to like 2017. And I don't even care about the numbers as much as, and maybe this is optimistic, but I think this will be the first game that they control the action. You know what I mean? That it's pretty clear that they're not super threatened. Maybe that the score, they get a late touchdown to make it close or something like that. That they go there on a business trip with all these veterans that are leaders and play quality football and are the better team.
I am for the first time this season, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go Patriots. I am at the point now where I believe this team can be way better than it's been over the first 2 weeks, but I'm at the point now where I'll believe it when I see it. And
mine was a huge leap of faith.
And and mainly it's just because it's on the road. It's against a veteran head coach who absolutely knows, the ins and outs of playing against the Steelers. It's facing Josh McDaniels, who's been an offensive coordinator, been a coach for a while. Nothing is unfamiliar about Mike Tomlin's defense to him. Drake May is a very talented quarterback who can, like I said, who might be able to pick up, even if it's only 2 or 3 times, might be able to pick up some back-breaking yards with his legs, whether it could be like 3rd and 8 and you have everything covered up and he just escapes and he just converts just because he can get 9 yards with his legs. Yeah. Something like that. That's just where I'm at right now. I do think the Steelers will be better. I don't know if that leads to an actual win. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm a little shocked that the Steelers are favored by 1.5 in this. But I'm going Patriots 24, Steelers 20 as my final score for the game.
And if you're right, it's going to be a long week till we go to Ireland.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm flying out Tuesday night, and it'll be even that Monday and Tuesday will be pretty interesting. As we wrap up the show today, we've talked a number of times. I know you have, I have, both on other shows about the passing of our good and mutual friend Dale Lawley. I feel like we need to say something on here as well for anybody who only listens to this show. Dale was a phenomenal friend. He was a phenomenal human being. Even not even talking about the reporter and the writer and podcaster or radio host, whatever that he was. I feel like we just needed to say something in out of respect to him, to his family, to his wife and kids who are dealing with his loss. This one hurts. It sucks. And I just wanted to say something to honor him to close out this show.
I'm glad you did. And the first segment of the drive on Wednesday, I urge everyone to check out, because that's when I kind of laid it all on the line. And that was really, really difficult for me, but I'm very happy with how that turned out. Those are my real true feelings, but he was absolutely one of my best friends and a massive, massive loss, to say the least,
Yeah, it's I know that for me, Dale, I wouldn't be where I'm at without Dale. I can honestly say that he fought for me in ways that I can't even describe. That like if I could go into all the details, but people wouldn't understand. Mm-hmm. He fought for me in ways that I feel like I've always owed him a debt of gratitude, and there are. No longer can I buy him a beer as a way to say thanks or anything like that. And so I just haven't got a better one whenever he passed on. So cancer about cancer that will get us demonetized, but it is what it is, and it's part of life. And I know that Dale would want us more than anything to talk about football, not to talk about him. So
I was very fortunate to do that for thousands of hours.
Seriously, I can't
with them, right?
Yeah, no, all the times that we were like on the road, combine, owners meetings, and I know so many days throughout seasons and off seasons during draft prep and everything like that. I know you guys spent a lot of time together. I know Dale and I spent not as much, but still a good amount of time together. So I know we need to get out of here, but I did rough, like napkin math. I figured out I probably was on the air with Dale between 6,000 and 7,000 hours. Wow. And there has to be thousands more that we were texting back and forth, just talking football. I mean, let alone like life and other things. But I'm just talking about like football conversations. Yeah. It's an awful lot. And it was great. Yeah. And it was great. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Southside Beat. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully, for Steelers fans, the result on Sunday will be better for you guys, but we'll see what happens up in Foxborough. DK and I will be up there providing coverage before, during, and after the game. Looking forward to it. I haven't been to Boston in about a decade, actually, so I'm looking forward to flying into Boston, staying overnight there, and then making the drive down to Foxborough on Sunday morning. So and we'll be back next Friday to talk about this game, and then to also
from Ireland. We'll have to figure out the logistics.
Yeah, we'll have
to
figure that out. But we will both be in Ireland. But we will try to figure that out. I can almost guarantee you that the timing will be a little bit different. But there will be a show next week, sometime, someplace, somewhere, somehow, for us to do something. But it'll be a lot of fun for sure. From Dublin. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah. That'll be fun. When are you flying over, by the way?
I'm going Wednesday evening, not with the team, but with the team. The team has two different flights that they send. This is like the other one. So I won't be with the players. They're going the following day.
I'm going the day before you are. So I'm flying out Tuesday night. I will land in Dublin Wednesday morning at 11.
All right, cool.
So I will already be there when you get there. So we'll figure that out. But we have a lot to figure out during the weekend. I can't believe it's already here, to be completely honest.
Pretty cool.
It's crazy. Anyway, really appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you on the Flippity Flip. We'll see you later from across the pond.